Good morning, this is Christine Binger, and this is my personal introduction video for the EDL 856 Module 1. To give some information about myself to start with professionally, I did my undergrad at Kansas State University in Manhattan, Kansas, and then started my teaching career at Junction City High School, teaching 10th grade English and pre-AP English. Then I transferred to Kansas City Public Schools District, which is where I'm currently at, teaching 9th grade English and pre-AP English, as well as a reading intervention class. The current demographic I work in an inner city school district with a very diverse population of students. We have 43 languages spoken at our school, so our ELL program is very strong and offers a lot of support for these students who are coming to America, from new Americans to having been here their whole lives, but English is their second language, or third or fourth. Roles outside of teaching that I play with in my school: I am a yearbook sponsor this year, as well as the Avid Site Coordinator, which is the program my district is trying to implement across all middle schools and high schools. We're only in year 2, so we are early in that process, but it is exciting. Some personal information: I was married last summer, so I included a picture of my new husband and I. And then I do have one stepson. He's 11 years old. I chose not to include a picture because for his own privacy, I didn't want to put anything out there on him. And then some hobbies I decided to include. I love to travel. One of my goals in life is to visit somewhere new every year. So I included a picture of one of my brothers and I. We were in Ireland and went to the Cliffs of Moher a couple years ago, which was a very cool experience, and I highly recommend it if anybody is interested. I also enjoy cooking and baking. I love finding new recipes and seeing what I can do with them. It doesn't always turn out right, but I think it's pretty good usually. And I like to read. I'm currently just started Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. I also just recently finished Busy Phillips' memoir, This Will Only Hurt a Little. I'm very interested in hearing people's lives and perspectives. So that's generally the books that I go to, but I also love young adult books, especially so that I can support my students in finding texts that they love. One of my favorite young adult authors my entire life has been Sarah Dessen, but more recently Jason Reynolds writes some amazing perspective pieces for young adults that my students truly love to read. So if you're interested in looking for anybody, I would suggest those two. Looking at stakeholder communication, in my school we follow a couple different forms of communication. Order priority, I would say, would be email, phone, website, in-person conferences and meetings, and Twitter. All of these are free resources. The email, phone, website, and in-person meetings are through the school. The Twitter is my own personal that I created to be professional. So it followed me from my previous school to my current school and will follow me anywhere I go beyond that. I use it to communicate to students. I used to use it to remind them of tests, of projects, school cancellations, anything going on. For forms of communication I wish I could use but cannot, I decided to list the same ones because I don't feel like my school fully supports us in accessing all of these. Especially the last one, Twitter. They have a Twitter but don't really use one. I think it's a great form of communication that we should be using to reach our students and our parents. Looking at district strategic policies, do I follow a set of district strategic policies for communicating? I'm going to say loosely, because there's not a set standard. We're very behind in what we could be doing to communicate better, especially looking at our high needs population that we have, our ELL population that we have, as well as just the basic needs of the inner city community that I work in. Unfortunately, many parents' phones are not connected for various reasons. Our school also doesn't require them to have emails. So I feel like the website is the next one that we use, but not everybody has internet. And then how do we get to the in-person conference thing? And then how do you have social media? So I feel like I follow it in that we have a standard of communicating to our stakeholders, i.e. parents and students, at least 3 times a week, but it's almost unachievable without calling the same people every couple weeks because of the lack of access to communicative tools that would allow us to better support our students. I think this is an area that if my district were to make it a priority, finding other ways to communicate, then we would have better attendance and better behavior problems and more support from families. But unfortunately, I think we're at a roadblock of not sure what to do and not making this a priority or seeing it as something that could really improve what we're doing, how we're teaching, and how we're providing for all of our students. So that's my information on communicating. I'm looking forward to this semester and what I can learn from this course and being able to apply it to my teaching. So thank you.